pick your class and
earn your battle points.
Because it's time for the Star Wars Battlefront Podcast. Welcome to episode 171 of the Star Wars Battlefront Podcast. I'm your host, Sage Goodwin, joined by my brother and co-host, Sam Goodwin.
Hello there.
In this episode of the podcast, we'll be going over some of the stuff that we missed in our little mini vacation, as well as going into your thoughts and questions for the show.
Let's get started.
So the most recent update came out on August 28th, and we're just going to go a little bullet point by bullet point on what's new in this update. They're bringing both the Separatist Dreadnought and the Republic attack cruiser to heroes versus villains. They're making some changes to the capital ship phase of capital supremacy. Once you've breached the enemy ship, you have 5 minutes to destroy it before the action returns to the ground. In order to destroy the ship, you must first capture one of 2 available command posts located on the ship. If you succeed in that, your team will gain an additional 5 minutes and can now open fire on the enemy target. Next, they're changing the capital ship phases to be based on a timer. This means that the attacking team will now have a 5-minute window to destroy the generators. Once the time runs out, the battle will return to the planetary phase. Contextual spawning is in the game now. Once you have been defeated in battle, you will be presented with the squad spawn menu as normal. Alongside your squad members, you will now be presented with a list of command posts to spawn onto as well. They're also bringing 3 new appearances that are in the game right now. Each of the below appearances will be for all 4 trooper classes: Assault, Heavy Officer, and Specialist. There's the Pilot, the Jungle, and the Training Droid. I think I like the Training Droid the best. It's got like a little target on its chest. It's very matte finish. Looks pretty sweet. All heroes except for Boss can now gain health upon defeat as a passive ability. Heroes will now be receiving 20 health points for defeating troopers and 100 health points for defeating heroes. For community request, jump, gravity, and speed has been improved for Bosk, General Grievous, and the BX Commando droid. Audio from cancelled emotes will continue playing unless interrupted by an enemy's ability, i.e. freeze, pull, etc., or action. They've also made a bunch of star card changes for the heroes and villains. All of these details will be down below in the description of this episode.
So far, so good. I'm a big fan of the health change, where if you get health if you kill a hero or a troop, for sure. That could definitely be noticeable if you get like a crazy amount of kills in a short span of time with like Anakin or something.
Yeah, something close quarters like the capital ships phase on capital supremacy.
Really excited to see how that works out. Otherwise, we did need some new maps to heroes versus villains, so that's nice to see as well.
Yeah, I'm glad for it too, because I really like the interiors of the capital ships.
For sure, and definitely works out. It's like the perfect format for it. And we did touch this last episode, but like the whole change with the timer, I think is very fitting, because with the the overtime type trooper thing could last for a really long time. Yes. in the maps. Like sometimes you could even manage to just win the game mode in that one time. I mean, it's possible if you play really well and the other team's really bad to do it in 5 minutes, but definitely going to take a few phases realistically if you have fairly evenly matched teams to win that. Definitely. Game mode there.
I'm really, really happy with the changes that they've made. I've been playing more of the smaller game modes, and we'll get into this in a little bit, but I haven't had a whole lot of time to spend in Capital Supremacy just because I've been trying to show the smaller game mode some love and get some gameplay with that. Really enjoyed playing Blast a couple days ago. That was really fun.
When I do play, I find myself either playing Capital Supremacy or Heroes versus Villains. I'll play Ewok kind of occasionally if I'm in a party, but otherwise just Capital Supremacy and Heroes versus Villains definitely time me over. I haven't played Blast in a hot minute.
Yeah, it had been a while since I jumped into Blast. So I was like, you know what I'm going to do? I really want to play the smaller game modes and get some time with that, just because it's something I don't normally do.
I haven't played Strike in forever.
Yes.
Probably been like 5 or 6 months since I played that game mode.
So I'm going through and trying to replay some of the smaller game modes that I don't normally play because it's just been Capital Supremacy or Heroes versus Villains for me.
But it's nice to play one game mode a lot and get tired of it and move to another game mode because it has more longevity than you just go back and forth, the never-ending cycle there.
It's super fresh. Like, I had a ton of fun playing Blast. Like, just the troopers, super fun. No heroes involved. It was really enjoyable. Weird thing though, so it was the reinforcement weekend where all of the reinforcements were like 100 credits or something like that. But I had this weird glitch that it would switch out. So I started the game mode and it was the normal 1000 throughout the whole game mode. Then the next game I got in, it started switching the price of them. And then in the next game mode I played, I went through and one life I'd be able to play and it was 1,000 credits. And then the next life I'd play and it'd be 100 credits. So I think it was just the time that I was playing was around the time that they were ending the whole 100 credit thing. I'm really happy with the changes that they've made to Battlefront 2. I know they've introduced a lot of glitches, so I'm hoping that will be fixed in the next update, which will be this month. We'll be getting Fallujah this month, which is crazy to think about. But now let's go on to some of the thoughts of our listeners. You amazing people out there. Reese Lawson has some questions for us. Hi guys, I'm a fairly new listener to your podcast and I'm enjoying listening to your views and theories to the future of the game. I have 2 questions. I was wondering what you guys could hope for on these subjects. Question 1, if you could add any skins to the game, what would it be? I'm hoping for alternate skins for Boba Fett, like the holiday special Boba or the prototype Fett skin. And secondly, what hero or reinforcement do you hope to see across any era? I'm hoping for either a Shadow Guard reinforcement for the Empire, similar to the Enforcer for the Separatist and / or the Sith Inquisitor, as a hero from either the Rebel series / the Fallen Order game. May the Force be with you. I really like this question. So let's tackle the first one. Any appearances for the game?
Definitely Sarlacc, Chune, Boba Fett.
That would be
awesome
pretty
to see.
sweet.
Old Obi-Wan, Darth Maul, robot legs would be awesome to see.
Oh yeah, that was the one I would choose. Another one that I would like, we may be getting in the future because they said fans of Luke and A New Hope will be happy, but I'd love to see Farm Boy Luke or Stormtrooper Luke. That could be fun.
Or even like The Last Jedi Luke would be cool to see. Really just a bunch of these characters that have been in multiple different timelines of the movie could have different varying appearances, I think.
It'd be pretty sweet. One that could be pretty sweet would be a skin for Phasma.
And obviously we need Chancellor Palpatine skin.
Yeah,
Let's not
obviously.
forget that.
I mean,
that's my number one, period.
Chancellor Palpatine for the Emperor skin needs to happen. Like that would be glorious. That would be an amazing skin. I would love to see that. Now going on to reinforcements. Also liked what he had to say with holiday special Boba Fett. That would be pretty cool. Sweet. Where he's got the white armor. Yeah, that would be pretty nice. But for reinforcements, he would like to see a Shadow Guard reinforcement for the Empire or a Sith Inquisitor, either from the Rebel series or the Fallen Order games. Both of those I think would be pretty sweet.
I would like to see the guards for General Grievous. I'm blanking on their names right now.
Yes.
The Magna Troopers or something like that.
I think so, the Magna Troopers.
But that would be really cool to see. And obviously we'd need a varying type on the opposing side. And also like this sort of trooper could also have varying things per era because they have Snoke's guards are fairly similar, as well as
I was about
Chancellor
to say,
Palpatine's is really similar
I
as
would
well.
love to see the Snoke's bodyguards. I would love to see the Praetorian guards. Those would be pretty sweet to see in the game. And I think they did say that they will be adding outside of the Clone Wars era reinforcements going forward after the Clone Wars season. So that would be pretty sweet. And I think we may be getting that. I know in Battlefront 2015, we got Leia's reinforcements. Those would be pretty cool.
I would like to see a lot of tie-ins from the PS2 Battlefront 2 because they have quite a lot of reinforcements.
They do, like the heavy tank trooper.
For sure. Yeah, there's a lot of really cool things you could do for that. And even like adding some different native species would be cool, like
Bothans.
Like Gungans on Naboo. Bothans on Mos Eisley.
Yeah, but the Gungans would be pretty sweet.
With grenades.
I would love to see some of the support reinforcements for the Gungans. That would be pretty awesome. There aren't a whole lot for the original trilogy, but I would love to see the Shadow Troopers return. That would be fun. But yeah, those would be pretty sweet to see. It's really hard to think of any for like the Rebellion side if we're thinking original trilogy.
Once again, you see the the bad side has the most characters to choose from. You could definitely scrounge in lore or even like lesser done stuff, like, or even the shows on like the Rebels is based in just barely the original trilogy, huh?
Yeah, it's right
so
before
that
the
would
original
kind of
trilogy.
count as well.
Yeah. Yeah, there are a lot
There's
of
a lot of
options.
material to choose from. It doesn't have to be just stuff on screen. You can do books as well.
Mhm.
There's quite a lot of novels based
just look
in
at
the original
Dengar.
trilogy.
We like saw his foot and we got him in the game.
Right.
Yeah, so I think there are a lot of choices to be had, and I'm really looking forward to what they do decide to do. Because, like you said, there is a whole world of lore, and there are some big lore fans. Like CJ is a huge fan of the comics, so I'd love to see some more like really random, really off the wall reinforcements. I think that would be awesome. Like, oh yeah, this was mentioned in one of the books. That would be super fun to see.
Yeah, because this game gives a chance to explore those characters more and put them more in the popularity light of Star Wars. Because Nyan Numb, when he came out, was like, he was a cool character, but he barely had any time. Maybe didn't have any speaking lines, but like he spoke a different language. But still, like maybe 30 seconds on screen at most, if we're lucky. And became one of the people's favorite characters in Battlefront 2015.
He's the people's hero. I mean, let's just be honest here.
So yeah, definitely need to show some light on some lesser known Star Wars characters as far as reinforcements or potential heroes go.
Definitely. I'd love to see some really strange aliens too. That would be nice to see.
Right. Definitely on the customization side, I would imagine.
It would be super awesome if they added the Wampas somehow. That
would be cool, and we've talked about this quite a bit, but a hunt mode would be really cool to see.
Definitely. Now let's go on to the next email that we've got here. Friend of the podcast, Daniel Schilling. Hey guys, I hope you're both well. I hope you managed to take advantage of the Triple XP week. I didn't as much as I wanted to, but someone did whilst trying to grab some milestones awards in Starfighter Assault. I was destroyed by a level 634 Poe Dameron hero ship. Crazy. I just wanted to get your thoughts on a couple of bits. I'm not taking credit for this as I've seen it during the rounds, but what are your thoughts on the light side heroes and their new health/buff cards? In the right team, they can be unstoppable, especially as the dark side heroes don't have a single health buff card. Will this cause a problem? I've seen quite a few videos ranking the heroes. What are your top 5 dark/light side characters to play with? His are dark side Bosk number 1. Number 2 is Darth Maul, number 3 Kylo, number 4 Vader, and number 5 Iden. And for the light side, it's Luke number 1, Han number 2, Rey number 3, Lando number 4, and then Anakin number 5. Have a great week. All the best, Daniel. So we got a little bit into this earlier, but the new health card system and the buff cards, I think it will balance it out. I think as they shift it, they are going to have to adjust it.
And yeah, obviously some characters will benefit more than others, and it's kind of interesting to see because, like in Heroes vs. Villains, it's going to be really important to get that kill because you want the extra 100 health. So it's going to be definitely infuriating when people steal your kill when you need that buff, and I know it's already going to be some rage times when I get in there.
But yeah, there's definitely, I think it will even itself out over the long run.
We'll see how it pans out. It's definitely, we'll have to see how it works when it comes out and starts getting into play.
Yeah, first impression, I like it. Next, though, our top 5 dark and light side characters to play with. I'll start with my dark side. It would be number 1, Vader. Number 2 would probably be Bosk. Number 3 would probably be Kylo. General Grievous would be number 4 for me, and then number 5 would be Dooku.
Be number 1 Bosk for me. Number 2 Iden Versio. Number 3 probably.
Number 2 Iden?
Yeah, I really enjoy her. If she's in like a team sort of game mode, she does really well. Obviously, not too good by herself. Number 3 Kylo Ren. I enjoy him. Number 4. Probably Count Dooku. He's a really fun character.
Yeah.
Probably Darth Vader, number 5.
I do love me a good Darth Vader. Light side, number 1, Chewbacca. Number 2 would probably be Han Solo. Number 3 would be Luke. Number 4, Leia. And the number 5 would probably be Anakin. I like the blaster wielders on the hero side.
For sure. Number 1, let's see here. Probably number 1, Chewbacca. Number 2, Lando, number 2.
Lando's really good. Lando's probably tied with my number 5.
Number 3 would probably be one of my favorites, actually, to play Finn. He's really fun. Pretty good if you can
Very
get him
strange
going.
play style.
For sure. It's kind of like Aiden. Kind of need him in a team situation. So number 3. Number 4, probably be Obi-Wan. Number 5, Han Solo.
The variety of heroes that they have are just super fun there. And it's always, because my gameplay style is always shifting, and the heroes that I like to play is always shifting, except for Chewbacca. Chewbacca's always my number one. Chewbacca's such a fun character to play, and I've been playing him since launch, and super fun. Our next email is from Mark Gambles. Hello there, Sage and Sam. Greetings from England. I've been playing Battlefront 2 since launch, and I've noticed something that is a crying shame on such a good game. Starfighter Assault. It's such a good mode which has pretty much been ignored since launch. The gameplay was significantly improved from Battlefront 1, 2015, but other than hero starfighters, the mode, and a few extra ships, the mode hasn't been touched since launch. No new maps or anything significant. Even if they added a reinforcement style class to the starfighter modes, that would be great, like B-Wings and TIE Defenders in the places where the Wookiee Warrior or Super Battle Droid would be on the ground, for example. Or since they added Obi-Wan and Anakin, get their starfighters in there. I wonder what your thoughts are on this largely forgotten game mode. Keep up the great work on the podcast, fellas. May the force be with you both. He raises a good point. So Starfighter Assault was my love alongside Cargo was my love in Battlefront 2015. I loved playing that game. Shout out to our cousin Brett. Him and I would play, and then we'd always compare, like we'd always challenge each other to try and get the most kills and how many points that we would get. It was a really fun game mode, and like he said, Battlefront 2 just stepped it up on a whole other level. Like, the gameplay is just so much better in Battlefront 2.
Yeah, it's not that it's poorly made or anything. I find I'm not personally a big fan of the flight type games in general, like not just Battlefront, other games as well, but I find myself, I'd rather put time into the more ground-based games. Nothing against it. I enjoy when I play it, but I rarely play it. But I feel like if they definitely paid more attention to it, updated it with the normal game modes, it would be way more popular.
Yeah.
Like reinforcements. That's a good point. It's quite easy to do. Like, also bring the heroes' ships into the game as well.
Yeah, like when
you're not touching it very much.
When you add General Grievous, bring the ship in. Like, that would be
Why
great.
not? That's like the common sense idea. Like, come on. And a lot of these heroes, especially from the prequel, have really cool ships. They all have ships, let's be honest.
Yeah, and they all have really cool ships. Like, General Grievous' ship is one of my favorites.
So many cool ships that they could add, and I'm guilty of not putting any time in this game mode, but for sure, if they updated it with reinforcements and also especially new maps, I would definitely be checking it out a little more.
I think really Starfighter Assault could benefit pretty well from a ranked game mode style, just because if you play Starfighter Assault, you play Starfighter Assault. I love the game mode. I too am guilty of just kind of forgetting about it, but my current renaissance, my current challenge is to play some of the smaller game modes, and Starfighter Assault is definitely on my list just because it's such a well done game. Criterion did a fantastic job recreating the feel of the vehicles, and we had John Stanley, who was one of the head guys over at Criterion, on the podcast. It was a great interview. We got into the details on that. A lot of the Criterion team, I don't think, are still working on Battlefront 2, so it would be the Battlefront support crew, and I'm not sure what that's like over there on the support of the game.
They can always probably bring them back and license them out, or do something along the lines of that. Maybe make a big update so they don't need to bring them back that often.
Yeah, but
the maps, it's like, I mean,
agree.
Space is space. You're really just hovering around another planet, so is it really that hard to create? And obviously there's different terrain types and ships.
I think a Starfighter Assault map would be a little more difficult than a set map, just because it is completely 360-degree 3D map. Like a lot of just on Capital Supremacy, when they make a new map, it's a flat area. You don't have to worry about people going to the edge accidentally. It's really clear where the edge is. But in Starfighter Assault, it's very much, oh crap, I'm now out of bounds. Like where's the boundary there?
Yeah, but really, when they update the main game, maybe add the space version of the map that they release.
I would love to see
add
that.
the hero ship of the hero they release, and maybe make a mimicking type reinforcement of what they make. Like really, it's just mirroring, and that would definitely help out the game mode a lot.
But yeah, I agree. Starfighter Assault is one of the great forgotten game modes. Like, just it's really glossed over whenever everyone's talking about Battlefront 2. Like that was a game mode that really took it hard when the whole controversy around Battlefront 2 came, just because like there were no problems with Starfighter Assault at all, which I think that's maybe why they've kind of neglected it a little bit, just because it's been the golden child and it's not needed that much work up until now, and I think it really does need that focus and that really it needs that attention for the game. I really want to get into the nitty gritty on the smaller game modes again. It's been too long since I've actually gotten back into the smaller game modes. Not that Starfighter Assault's a small game mode at all, but like I'd say it's on the scale of like Galactic Assault. But definitely I want to go back and play the game modes that I didn't really play a whole lot of, and definitely get back into Strike, because Strike was my jam. And I've really gotten away from it. So that's something that I'm challenging myself to do, is get back into the smaller game modes like Blast, Strike, Extraction, Ewok Hunt, all of those. Because up until now, it's basically been Capital Supremacy, Heroes versus Villains, and a little bit of Galactic Assault. So I really want to get back into the smaller game modes. They're super fun, they're super fast paced, and they're easily digestible. Like I played like 5 games in an hour or something like that, and that's not something that you can really do on Capital Supremacy at all. I think that's about it for this episode of the Star Wars Battlefront podcast. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. Greatly appreciate it. I've been your host, Sage Goodwin.
I'm Sam Goodwin.
If you have thoughts like Mark, Reese, and Daniel, definitely send us any way that you can. Our DMs are open on Twitter. If you have any thoughts, questions, just hey, I wanted to hear your thoughts on that, or here are my thoughts on something. Hit us up on Twitter, or you can do like these 3 did through email.
battlefrontpodcast@gmail.com.
And our Twitter is at SWB Podcast, twitter.com/SWB Podcast. You can support the show on Patreon, patreon.com/Battlefront Podcast, or on PayPal, paypal.me/tie-dye-sheep, TYEDYESHEEP. Those are 2 ways that you can support us. Patreon, like Joseph Loera, or PayPal, like Daniel Schilling. Another way that you can support us, like friend of the podcast Eric, is through the Cash App. He actually pointed us this way. Our name is $SWB Podcast. So if that's a way that really helps you to support us, we would greatly appreciate it. Anything you can give, $1 would be appreciated. Whatever you feel it's worth. And if not, if you can't give $1 or anything like that, a great way to support us is through leaving a review on iTunes or wherever you listen to podcasts, Apple Podcasts as well.
Our YouTube channel is youtube.com/The Star Wars Battlefront Podcast.
And definitely let us know if you would like us to start uploading the YouTube or the podcast to YouTube with gameplay. Recently, it's just been the static image, just because it took us so long to upload, but now we've got access to some faster internet. So if that's something you would like us to do, it may be a day late, but if that's something that you, the listener that listens to the show on YouTube, would enjoy, definitely let us know on any of the ways. Twitter, email, a YouTube comment. Definitely let us know if that's something that you're interested in. You can listen to the show on iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, Google Play, or wherever you find podcasts. As always,
thanks for listening.
May the Force be with you.